Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. Just while we are getting started, I mentioned it on the Twitch chat side, but there is some big problems with restream with YouTube today. Basically, I can't see YouTube chat at all, so I've had to open YouTube chat in a separate window. So I apologise if anyone's messages have been missed on YouTube side. For some reason, restream is just not connecting to YouTube properly. I think the stream should still be active. From what I can see, the stream is still working on YouTube, but the chat is just not working at all. So yeah, apologies for that. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about it. So just bear with me a sec just while I get this set up, just so I can actually still see YouTube chat. I do see you on Minsk, on YouTube Minsk, so I do see you. I've had to open YouTube chat separately. But yeah, when you've sent a message, normally what happens is I have a restream chat window that shows me both chats, and it doesn't show in the restream chat window. It just says it can't connect to my YouTube channel for some reason. I've tried disconnecting it and reconnecting it and nothing works. So hopefully it's just a temporary blip they're having. But yeah, I am setting up the YouTube chat separately. It's a really sort of roundabout way of doing it, but first, I think what I might do is I might just close the restream chat altogether, and then just use the native Twitch and YouTube chat for this stream. At least then I can see both. There we go. That is a very, very cursed setup, but it'll do for today. So today, as you can probably tell, we are playing Phantasy Star 0, the winner of this week's poll, after 2 attempts. If you still need time for Seek the Heart, you can always cover the side quest in 0. I was thinking of doing that actually, because obviously I need more time to unlock for Seek the Heart. And also I am having to learn an entirely new editing software as well, because for those who didn't know, the video last week was almost late because my editing software just completely broke. And it turns out that it hasn't been supported for about 6 months. So I've had to completely change editing software, learn an entirely new suite of software. I have managed to actually do a test video though in the new software, so we are making progress. So I think I'm going to be okay. The video for this week might be delayed by maybe a day or so, just while I get my bearings with the new software a bit. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the stream anyway. Enough ranting about various problems I've had today. So yeah, today we're doing Phantasy Star 0. We are doing multiplayer, so my friend code is on stream there if anyone wants to add me. And we're just going to play whatever people want to play, honestly. I have made a new character, which is extremely low level. Also, now to add to things, my controller has now stopped working with 0. Give me a second. We're back. Yeah, so I have made a formal. I forgot that there were literally about 3 hairstyles and about 3 hair colours in this game. So she looks nothing like my PSO formal. There she is. When is Miss joining us on Coral? Level 69 Phonium, waiting on my hard copy of PS0. So does anyone have a lobby up already, or do you want me to make one? I'm happy to make one if you want. I also don't mind if we do super hard or hard. You wait to see who joins, fair enough. Well, what I'll do is I will set a party up, and if anyone wants to join, feel free. I'm trying to get a rare lily to show up in PSO, because I'm bored. It's up to you, Minsk. Use whatever you want to. I know in previous streams we've done super hard, but I'm totally fine doing hard if people want to as well. It would have been nice to have my 4 mile to hard before the stream, but I just haven't had a chance to really do much on this today, so... Bringing Stanley. Yeah, go on, man. HUnewearl is level 6. I mean, she's 1 level higher than my 4 mile. So we'll give it a couple of minutes just for people to get in. I don't really know if the stream even worked properly on YouTube. I know Minsk's in chat and it looks like I am streaming live over there. But yeah, the problems today have been horrendous. You couldn't beat the dragon boss. Dude, the dragon in PS0 is no joke. I had to do it on my 4 mile earlier. It's like literally the first boss you fight in the human story. It's such an annoying boss. Alright, we've got Stanley in. So we've got 1 more space. We'll give it a couple of minutes or so. Where Pika? Yeah, I honestly, I really struggle with the dragon boss. It didn't help as well that obviously in the human story you have Sarissa right at the start for the dragon fight. And I was telling her to heal and she was doing nothing. Maybe she has to be above a certain level or something to use Resta, but yeah, she was doing nothing apart from dying. Next time on Dragon Boss Z. Or Z. It also didn't help that with a force at low level, you basically have no TP. I was burning out instantly. I was having to resort to just meleeing the thing with a wand. Yeah, so this is running through Melon DS at the minute. And there is a mod to be able to run this multiplayer. On my Discord, there is a pin message on there that shows how to do it. It's from the Phantasy Star 0 Discord. But yeah, there is mods to make it playable multiplayer, basically. And to be able to play multiplayer tower as well, actually. Yeah, that's the issue. Drac, I've basically got like a starter mag. I don't have a spare one for it. 50-50 attack and MST on mag and 4 mal. Mag and mat and 4 mal. Okay. I have to do a tutorial video. Maybe I should. Although always a little sketchy about Nintendo stuff because, you know, Nintendo famously, you know, fine with anything to do with emulation. Having said that, you can go online on an actual DS. It is doable. I'll give it like 1 more minute or so, and then we'll get started. Because I think it looks like we maybe just got 3 today. I appreciate that the player pool for 0 is probably fairly small. Yeah, if you use it with the DS, there is security issues. It's not particularly secure. Obviously, the reason I use emulation for this is just because it looks a lot better on stream as well. If you run this on an actual DS, emulating it, well, run it on a DS and capturing it, it would look terrible. We are working on increasing the player base. Yeah, we're trying. Yeah, I think we'll get started, I think. I did see that mist, yeah, about the new patent that they've... I think they've been successful in getting it. It was typical Nintendo ridiculousness. It wouldn't be a 0 stream without doing this at the start. I made another Squidward. There you go. You've like there's several variants of it now. So I've like, where's the original one? Yeah, there's the original one. And then I think was it Vector made that one? It's far too good. So basically, for this stream, I am totally fine either doing quests or if you just want to do free explorations, I'm fine with it. But at least it looks like YouTube chat is actually working. I'm assuming it's just a problem on restreams and then. I have no idea how they managed to get that patent missed. It's ridiculous. Yeah, because what was the patent for again? It was something like incredibly generic, wasn't it? Yeah, we can do quest for experience, sure. Didn't know it was possible to play the game online today. Going to give it a try soon. Yeah, I think there is a Phantasy Star 0 Discord, as far as I'm aware. They should have instructions on how to do it. All right, let's start relatively easy, and we can work up. Thankfully picked up this game recently after friends recommending it. Yeah, I hadn't really played it much until recently. I didn't have a DS back in the day. It is a really, really good game. Yeah, so it was a patent for all companions or animals that accompany and fight for or with you. Isn't that going to be a slight issue? I know there is a new Digimon game coming out very soon. Isn't that going to be a slight issue for that? I mean, hey, PSR2 is screwed as well, because Summoner. Yeah, I will try and keep up with YouTube chat today. It is a very jank setup I'm having to use today because of the restream problems, but I will try and keep up with it. Yeah, Diablo as well, you know, you can't have any game ever that has a necromancer in it. Is Stanley with us? Or... I'm just gonna like aggressively vibrate while I wait for Stanley. Oh, there we go. Lawyers, exactly. I honestly, I don't see how it's enforceable. It just seems way too broad. That was extremely loud. Give me a second while I just knock that down very slightly. There we go. Yeah, I genuinely don't see how they can enforce that. I'm not sure if that was a respawn. I still don't really know a whole lot about the rare enemies in this. I know a few of them, but I don't know if that was a respawn or not. Yeah, honestly, I think if you've never tried Zero, it is a really fun game. I've got a heart, tri magenta. I'm going to pick that up actually for my formal. Hilda here is red, okay. Oh yeah, I think is it something like Hilda Gygus or something it's called, I think I've seen one of those before. They'll probably enforce it like they usually do when it suits them. Do we even know what happened with the Palworld lawsuit? Because it just seems to have gone very quiet. We'll join you next time if I can beat the dragon. Good luck. Yeah, don't worry too much if you struggle with the dragon. It is a genuinely hard fight. That's a really odd thing for a Phantasy Star, because normally the dragons are really easy, but yeah, the Zero dragon is no joke. They changed minor things and that was it. I mean, the thing is, I refuse to believe that Pokemon was the first game to have, like, companions. Like, surely there are games that predate Pokemon that had them. I think it's just how they are now, they're just very aggressively litigious. Man, to be fair, Sega are no better. I know there's recently been, I think it was Sega UK, organised with the UK police to raid. It was, I believe they were a YouTuber who like focused on retro consoles and everything, and they'd legally bought some dev kits for, I think it was for some Nintendo products, but Sega UK saw the video and got his house raided. So as much as I like Sega, they can still be problematic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, Megami Tensei. Yeah, exactly. I don't know when that actually started, but I know it's been around forever. So I'm quite over level for here, but I literally have this character and level 5 character, so there is nothing in between. Goes back to the Famicom. Okay, yeah, slightly older than Pokemon then. That's what I mean though, so like how is that enforceable? I suspect it probably isn't. But Nintendo are probably just trying to scare people by implementing it. I don't know what happened there. I just saw you die for like no reason. There were no enemies on my screen. Come on then, I'll hit this one. There you go. I appreciate you trying to hit both at the same time. Yeah, we'll pick up the 4-star. Might use it on my low level. Might as well put in fire and water. Shouldn't say that, I might try. This kind of game is perfect portable. Yeah, I think the sort of the scale and everything of this game, I think, is really well suited to a portable console. It is actually surprisingly in depth as well. You know, there is quite a lot of things to it. I don't know why these guys explode when they die. That has always confused me that some enemies just do that. It's not like it's a machine or anything, it's literally a monkey. Monkey's well known for being explosive. Hey Clarity, good to see you. Ah, poison spikes, brilliant. New dual screen handhelds would be perfect for this. Yeah, I suppose I never thought of that. So yeah, things like the fold phones and so on that have 2 screens. I suppose they would work perfectly, wouldn't they, for something like this? Yeah, I didn't get to experience this game until fairly recently, honestly. Like I said, I never had a DS when I was younger, so... I had a PSP back at the time, so I played a lot of Phantasy Star Portable and Portable 2 and Portable 2 Infinity. But yeah, never got around to playing the Zero. With like a second screen for the Steam Deck. I know they've, I think they recently trademarked something. Can't remember what it was called now, but Steam did recently trademark something which people think might be a new console, possibly. Have you read about the dev kit article? Yeah. Metroid's second screen attachment works with the Steam Deck. Oh, nice. I'd only ever heard of PSO, PSU, and PS2 NGS, so imagine my shock when I found out not only was there multiple portable PSOs, but there was stuff before PSO. There was. Some very good stuff before PSO, as we've been finding out on Wednesdays. Again, I just want to say, like, Phantasy Star 4 is ridiculously good. Yeah, good to see you, Richard, as well. You've been misled and bamboozled. Yeah, 4's been really fun. As someone who's never played it through before. Although I do wonder how long it would have taken me to figure out what to do on that boss fight with the man-eating plants. I probably would have been sat there forever. Probably an embarrassingly long amount of time. Use 4 as the entry into the Legacy title. So what I did, Torso, is I went back and I played the Sega Ages version of the first game, and then did 2 and 3, and now I'm going through 4. So I'm still playing through 4 at the minute on Wednesdays. Yeah, 4 is definitely the highlight of the classic games. Episode 3 does exist, yes, it does. And speaking of episode 3, I think I'm probably going to play PSO Ep 3 next Sunday, because that came second in the poll and we haven't played it for a while. There's actually a really short map. I'm so used to the story maps now because I was doing a bit of story earlier. Yeah, I think for the classic games, I think the Sega Ages version of 1 is really good. I love the quality of life bits on it. 2 was really good, but it needed a little bit of tweaking to make more manageable. And Endgame was not brilliant, but the game as a whole was really good. 3 was 3. Three is one of those games where I am glad I have experienced it. I don't think I want to experience it again. But it was fine. I love the huge lag whenever new enemies spawn. My PC just can't handle the raw power of the DS. Does it feel strange playing with the D-pad? I'm actually playing the analog stick at the minute. I don't think it's too bad. The weirdest thing for me is I can't seem to get my D-pad working for the menus, so I have to use my analog stick in the menus, which feels weird. Having no camera control doesn't bother me because I'm used to PSO. But that was a quest that existed. Yeah, I mean, I guess you do kind of have the camera control. It's a bit weird, though, to use. Was it? Yeah, you like, hold the top face button and then hold R or L. Like, having to do that to move the camera around, and it's very slow. I just don't find it that useful, honestly. But yeah, I guess you can do it. The weird thing about the camera for me is that unlike PSO, the camera doesn't turn where you look fully. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Because you can still do the PSO thing of like hitting the left bumper, so like that. They make a list of quality of life. It is a dramatic camera plan, it is. I will accept the quest reward, don't worry. Playing this first time on native hardware, I'll say the D-pad movement is done really well, thankfully. The lock-on also helps to adjust movement. Yeah, I use the lock-on quite a bit. It does definitely help. I think for me, because I'm used to PSO, I'm kind of used to janky camera anyway. I've accepted the quest reward. Yeah, definitely a fun game to try if you haven't already. New camera and loot system on Ophinia changed my life. I don't use the camera on Ophinia, the analog camera. For me, I am so used to PSO just having like the left bumper camera reset. It felt really weird when I tried using it, and I just went back to the normal one. The loot system, I use the one on Ophinia that prevents you from accidentally using Photon Blast, but I don't use the one for item pickups because, again, I was pressing attack all the time when I didn't mean to. I know I get used to it eventually, but yeah. Same for all Monster Hunter games for me. I think if you've played them a lot as they were intended, it's really hard to adjust sometimes. PS0, it's probably more important to try different character weapons and PAs to see what you like. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this game that I don't like in terms of weapons and PAs. When you find one you do like, you tend to stick with it. Alright, let's see. What can we do next? I guess, I mean, it's a PS0 stream. I feel we have to do Squidward at least once. Speaking of Monster Hunter, Capcom is now blaming streamers with less than 20 viewers for Wilds' poor reviews and sales. Well, damn. I'm sorry, Wilds. No, I did also see that they were blaming, I think they were blaming Sony and the pricing of the PS5 for Wilds' poor sales. Like, no, the reason Wilds is sold poorly is because it runs like crap on PC and you haven't fixed it. I would also argue there's not a great deal to do in the game as well. Lovely Squidward, thank you. Monster Hunter creator program when? I think there are Capcom affiliated streamers, but yeah, it tends to be like bigger streamers. Yeah, I think Capcom I think they are quite deluded if they think that the PlayStation price is the reason that Wild isn't doing as well. Like, no, there is a very good reason. Just look at the Steam reviews, man. I know they have said they are going to make some changes to the Steam version, but they have said that they are not making any performance improvements until December. So my view then is, well, I guess I won't play Wilds until December then. Military computers tried to run Wilds and exploded. I mean, to be real, my PC does run Wilds okay, but it doesn't run as well as it should. Yeah, there are still areas in the game where I can drop to like 30 or 40 FPS, which for a PC like mine it should not be running that badly. Play Wilds so you're the only content creator and player in game. It's sold 10 million copies, yeah, but I mean, if you compare that to some other games they've sold, well, to give you an idea of how badly Wild has been selling recently, in the last quarter, I believe it was outsold by Devil May Cry 5. I wish I was making that up. Yeah, Devil May Cry 5 outsold Wild in the last quarter. That's not to take anything away from DMC5, because I know DMC5 is a really good game. But it probably shouldn't be selling more than your big release. Zero is very nice. It is, yeah, it's a really fun game. 10,000 playing at the minute. I mean, 10,000, you know, it's still, it's a decent player base, but out of curiosity, Mist, if 10,000 are playing Wild, how many are playing World? I'm genuinely quite curious to see how many are playing World at the minute. Therefore, leaving Wild and optimized. I mean, yeah, I don't know how the console versions run, but yeah, the PC one, unless you have a really, really high-end PC, it just does not run well at all. See, that's me. There's 7,300 playing World. Because World is a good game. I mean, I'm not saying Wild's a bad game, because it isn't. The core gameplay of Wild is really good. I do like it. I've got some issues with it, but I do like it for the most part. It's just the performance is the big one. That's the big factor why a lot of people aren't getting into it. But I do genuinely feel there just isn't that much to do in the game as well. I know recently they've added the talismans and everything, but it does kind of feel like we're farming the same few monsters, which, to be fair, is also a thing we did in World, in base game World. So I can't judge it too harshly on that. Optimizations, okay, on top of optimization, I've seen people get bad Apple running on an IBM TX portable with high quality audio. 2,700 on Rise. Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad for Rise, honestly. Rise was like the side game, wasn't it? So I think it was never going to have as big player numbers. I think Rise is pretty fun. The main issue I have with Rise is the wire blood recovery. I think it was way too easy to recover quickly, and it kind of felt like you were too overpowered compared to the monsters. Not to mention it has game-breaking bugs in a game that can be out of the box $100+. As a person who struggled to get good, Rise was fun. I mean, it is a fun game. I think the only part of the game I really didn't enjoy for base game Rise was the part where it kind of forced you to do the rampages. I didn't really like the rampages that much because I'm not a big fan of tower defense, and that's kind of what it felt like. Same reason I don't like the defense quest in PSO2. And honestly, Sunbreak was a pretty good expansion as well. I had a good time with it. Again, I think the endgame had some problems in Sunbreak. It was very heavily geared around spamming the anomaly quests. But fun game overall, though. The other thing that hurt Rise, I think, is on the Switch version, at least anyway, is when it released, it kind of didn't have a full story. Your favourite thing about PSO2 was the guy yelling "one more." I'm just giving it a second.
One more.
There we go. Thank you, Jack. The announcer set a vibe for farming.
ESE burst.
There you go, there's another one. I mean, they did keep an announcer in NGS, but they changed it. I think it's like a female announcer in NGS. And she doesn't sound as excited about things. She sounds very overly formal for some reason. You've already answered this like a dozen times already, but what's the connection thing you use to play this online? So I'm running it through Melon DS. I honestly can't remember how this is set up online now because it's been so long since I actually set it up. I know that doesn't help. I think there is a Phantasy Star 0 Discord as far as I'm aware. And I think if you check on there, I believe there's a guide on there how to get it online. Yeah, I really like daggers in Zero. There are certain weapons I really don't enjoy in this game, like sabers I really hate. But yeah, daggers feel really good. Which is nice because in PSO they were kind of useless for the most part. Oops, someone leveled. Cool. Yeah, sorry Blade, yeah, it's been a while, but I think if you check on the Phantasy Star 0 Discord, I'm sure there's probably a guide on there how to get it set up. Look at me, I spin. You do spin. Do you know what the really funny thing is? That looks almost identical to the special attack. I can't remember what they're called now. The attacks in Wild that you use on wounded parts. The Insect Glaive, one of those, basically does the exact same thing. So that Monster Hunter Wilds was inspired by a Phantasy Star 0, apparently. Would have been nice to see PSE bursts in Blue Burst 0 or Infinity, just a ton of enemies going wild. I mean, I guess in Blue Burst there are some quests on the private servers that have ridiculous enemy counts. PSO2, you also like the build stuff, although I know there isn't much in the way of build diversity. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely certain builds that are better than others in PSO2. I am not the authority on PSO2 though. I played it a lot back in the day, but if you ask me about meta builds or anything, I wouldn't have a clue. To be fair, I'm an NGS creator and I know nothing about meta builds in NGS either, so... Oh, actually, speaking of NGS, I actually got my first decent drop in NGS, like an actual rare. I got, in the new Alter Realm quest, I got a Legendios rifle, which is actually rare. Handgun range on the dagger PA. Oh, nice one. I do kind of like in this how they implemented the photon arts. So because your palette space is so limited in this game, and for anyone who hasn't played it, basically the way they implemented the photon art is if you hold your attack button at the end, you can start charging it. So if I do an attack and then hold the button, you can see now I've charged, and then when I release the button, it does the photon art. So I think that's really good how they implemented it for such a small palette space. It does give the game a bit more diversity, really. You've got another level. It's actually really surprising because I'm in hard. I really shouldn't be leveling. Set up the online this morning, did not realize how high level you all were. So I have 2 characters in this clarity. I have this character who's obviously 78 now. My other character is level 5. Basically every time I've played this character. And I've only made a new character this morning. Yeah, Drax on his 2nd save. I think Drax definitely got invested a lot more in this. I like the game, but yeah, he's invested a lot more in this. There you go. First save as level 90 plus characters. I found PSO2's daggers to be very weird, not very high in DPS with most scenarios. You can air juggle, which is fun though. So I know in base game PSO2, the way the daggers kind of worked is you basically had to use them in the air. Because I believe the twin dagger gear that gave you like damage boost and so on, I think you lost it if you touched the ground, if I remember correctly. In NGS they've changed it a bit, so you can use daggers on the ground fine in NGS. They still work better as an aerial weapon. Yeah, the charging thing in this as well, yeah, like Minsk said, it also applies to techniques as well. So if I go to heal, if I just do rester and just tap it, it heals me but no one else. But if I hold it, then release, it'll also heal people around me as well. Do you like how they implemented the idea in NGS for techniques? Makes it less of a chore to juggle element on the palette. That is honestly what I think as well. I know PSO2 had tons and tons of different techniques, but it also had a problem where there was some techniques that were just not worth using. I think in NGS, although there isn't many actual techniques, they've made it so like the charge and uncharged versions do work quite differently. Yeah, charge anti in this is really good. Yeah, charge anti also revives people. On very low health, admittedly, but it does revive them. It's one thing I've always liked about this franchise, though, is that every game is just so different. Alright, it's time. Anti-death. It is, yeah, it cures death. I think some of the PSO2 tech could have been revised. Low AoE, low damage, there were some issues, yeah. I mean, there were some that were basically only used for travel, there were some that were just never used, really. But yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same PSO as well. I mean, I can't think of many situations you would use Gibata in PSO. There's probably some, but... Alright, let's fight Squidward. There he is. It's like an unwritten rule, we have to do this guy every time we play a Zero. He does have the most awkward, janky hitboxes I have ever seen, but... Like the hitbox for his tentacles is kind of like halfway down them roughly. It's very weird. If you hit in certain places, they just won't do anything. Like that. You would do that, wouldn't you? Gibata in PSO2 is arguably the biggest nerf from Blue Burst. 10% freeze chance, low DPS, Rabata beats out and everywhere. That was a ton of damage, actually. We did have a really funny thing when we played this yesterday. We played it a little bit on Discord yesterday. And I think it was Drac. As the boss died, he was doing the attack where he eats one of you. And Drac was inside this guy's mouth and leveled up as he died while he was inside the mouth. Thanks for coming, Squidward. Your battery is nigh on useless. It is, yeah. on PSOBB, there's a quest on Affinia where you can check certain stats about your account, and one of the things it tracks is how many times you've used techniques. And I find it very funny that when I checked my level 200 HUnewearl, she had never used Gibata ever. You've never seen the nom 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 attack? Yeah, he has an attack in second phase where he sucks you in and eats you. Then spits you back out again. But we killed him as Draken was inside his mouth, and then Drac leveled while being eaten. You were on this fight a while first time playing. Yeah, honestly, most of the bosses in the game are relatively difficult the first time you go through. And on my first playthrough of this, to get through normal, like, some of the bosses genuinely give you problems. I've already accepted the quest reward, don't worry about it. Dragon's still causing me issues. Yeah, the dragon is pretty difficult, honestly. It's just some of his attacks are quite hard to see the tells for. He's also got that annoying attack where he rolls and does like a shockwave around him that knocks you back. That's really annoying because it has virtually no wind up at all. He just kind of does it instantly. He's very stumpy and dislikes you trying to hit his face for some reason. I honestly tend to just focus on his legs. Yeah, he does like to step on you a lot. It's really irritating. Weirdly, I found the dragon easier than Octo Diablo, at least for HUnewearl. Yeah, I'm not sure how a force would find it. I mean, I've only done the dragon with a force with my 4 mile. I found it a little bit awkward. Yeah, if anyone else in chat is set up to play online, again, my friend code is on the screen there. You can also join the Discord as well. We do have more friend codes for people on there as well. The child in me finds it very funny that the description for Trifluid is full PP. I'm sorry. If Minsk is 68 and swap to super hard characters, yeah, it's up to you, Drac. If you want to swap to super hard, we can do that. Up to you. I don't mind remaking the game if you want to do super hard. I think all the areas in Zero have a specific resist. They do, as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure what Octo's resistant to, but yeah, I'm pretty sure every area has like a resistance to either melee or range, maybe tech. At least it isn't the dragon from Infinity. I got one shot by that thing like 70 times before I beat the story mission. Not as bad as Kohan or whatever the Sun Boy's name is. Which dragon was it being? Because I know there's quite a few in Infinity. Was it the PSO dragon or? Yeah, the weirdly skinny PSO dragon. Would you say it's super hard? Hi Zale, good to see you. The PSO one that now is a spin attack, yeah. Yeah, the PSO dragon in Infinity is kind of BS. Yeah, so it's 64 super hard in multiplayer Minsk. For single player, you have to do tower. Yeah, I don't know what they did with the PSO enemies in Infinity. It was very weird. Yeah, the dragon was super skinny. The boomers, they were in PSU as well, but the boomers in PSU and Infinity were incredibly weird looking. I have no idea why YouTube has held that message for review. We can show that. Yeah, sorry about that, Scorpio. For some reason, YouTube thought your comment was spam. Which it clearly isn't. Good to see you. Alright, yeah, what I'll do then is... Oh, you're currently 57, okay. So in that case then, we can keep doing hard then. Until you're at 60. Do we want to remake lobby in case anyone else wants in? Yeah, I think everything is spam. What else is new? There is a really funny thing with YouTube at the minute. They have rolled out this thing, I think it's called restricted mode. And basically what it does is, AI basically, on YouTube what it does is, if you have restricted modes on, the AI kind of determines what it thinks might not be suitable for younger viewers. And it's been just completely blanking some people's channels. Some people's channels are basically just disappearing because the AI just thinks they're not suitable for younger people. Did check though, restricted wasn't on for you. Yeah, I've got it turned off at the minute. Oh, you want to join Zale? Fair enough. Yeah, we can remake the lobby then. You do like some spam, have it in sandwiches with Branston pickle. But yeah, I think you need something to do while you feed a mag in PSO, don't you? I think it's a very, very boring experience just feeding a mag, so I tend to do it while watching like a YouTube video or something. Yeah, no worries, Drac, you may as well get the experience. Okay, party's up. Yeah, the PSU boomers are super weird. They're like incredibly hench. Probably just traumatized all the Americans in chat. And make an art. There you go. There's a PSO symbol, chat. Alright, cool. We got Zaylan. Gonna make an effort to get a reasonable level character, so next time people play PS0 I can join. Yeah, nice one. so cursed. Obviously pet cat. Need a new mag now. Yeah, I need to finish this mag on this character, honestly. Go back as far as possible and see if you can see me wave. Oh, go on, man. Let's do it for science. Yeah, I still see you. That's actually quite a long draw distance for the DS, honestly. I know you can't see me because you can't turn the camera around, but... You like this more than PSO2? Yeah, I think PSO2 is kind of a game that I had reasonable fun with it, but it wasn't really the kind of game I wanted to play. I basically played it because there wasn't much else I wanted to play at the time, and I had friends who played it. It probably is a further draw distance than PSO, to be fair. Yeah, I like this. I mean, I still enjoy PSO2, but it's not one of my favourite Phantasy Stars. Alright, let's get a quest going. Should we do Dark Falls? We can try it. Ethan Weber and Titus Smith have 10 locked in a cage match. Do you want anyone to win? Oh yeah, Clarity, yeah, if you are doing Star and don't want spoilers, you probably don't want to see this run. You'll never believe what the final boss is. Surely this time is different. Well, to be fair, you know, there are Phantasy Star games that don't have it as a final boss. Your Flabbers would be gassed if it was Dark Falls. I couldn't possibly comment. Yeah, pay no attention to the obvious dark enemies. I will say, I do kind of like the enemy designs in this game, particularly for like the dark creatures. They look super weird. Is Zale doing debuffs or are you? I genuinely don't know. Kind of depends on what Zale's got on their palette, honestly. The palette space is so limited in this game that it's kind of hard to fit everything in you need. Again, you know, I can give it some slack because it was a DS game. We like our dark enemies being slightly eldritch horror-y. It's like a really weird aesthetic they've gone with for this. I do kind of like it though. I kind of like the aesthetic as well, how in this area, how this block is a very dark area, but the enemies are all this kind of whitish colour. And then you go to the next area and it totally sort of swaps around. So then you have a very light area with dark enemies. Yeah, I can use D-Band and Anti, that's fine. Totally not ruins. But isn't it? It's the Dark Shrine. It is kind of amazing how in depth this game actually is for a DS game. And when I first started playing it, I thought it would be super shallow, but it really isn't. And again, I'll stress this again, it is probably one of the hardest Phantasy Star games. PSO2 is nice, like the variety, PC mechanic, and the chill nature for the most part. Obviously not meant for one player, and I don't think anyone likes Risk. Yeah, I mean, there is some solo stuff you can do in PSO2. But yeah, it's obviously designed as an MMO style game, really. You like how the main story changed based on the race you chose in the game? Yeah, it's only small changes, but it's a really nice little detail. So I know, like when I did the story with this character, with a Newman, you basically start falling down the surface in a drop pod, and Sarissa is with you. And then you kind of run into Kai along the way. Whereas with a human, you start out with Kai, and then you run into Sarissa's drop pod. So there's only like very small differences, but there is differences between the races for the story, which is cool. Zero inspired NGS drop pods start. I mean, there is a similarity. Yeah, I think the first boss is different as well for each race, isn't it? I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say the first boss for Newman was maybe Squidward, possibly. And for Human, it was the dragon. I think I fought the dragon second with this character. Cast Sarissa wakes you up from your nap. Cast start in the snow area. Yes, they probably get the easiest start then, don't they? Because they start with the mini boss. Squidward killed you so much that you had to grind the first and second area over and over to survive. Honestly, I kind of feel like the first boss you fight in this game is one of the hardest things in the whole game. Just because it's super undergeared. Yeah, Clary, I think the casts, they start off with the gorilla bosses. For their first quest. I think the octopus is probably the first full boss that they fight. I also love with this game how every time I switch area, the game just like flashbangs me. And like the lighting balance in the room can't keep up, so my face just gets completely white every time we change area. For humans, it's the dragon. For Newmans, it's Squidward. And for Cass, they just have a bunch of the big dudes from the snow area. It's Cass privilege. Just making sure I'm awake. Ah, no worries. Squid and Force is player anguish. Honestly, yeah, I mean, Squidward is a pretty difficult boss. See, now it's like totally changed, so now we've got like a light themed area. So far I still got the dark enemies, but I know it changes again soon. This is kind of the middle ground area, I think. Then you set the render preset to OpenGL, then set the resolution too high, and suddenly you can see sounds. HUcast has it so rough, we gotta give him a first easy boss. Yeah, so now we've got this really light area. Now all the enemies look dark. Which is kind of a cool aesthetic, I really like that. Also, the music here is really good as well. Oh, Stanley's at 58. Staircase gave you Ocarina of Time Ganondorf flashbacks. Yeah, they seem like doing this in Phantasy Star where they have like a abnormally long corridor before final boss. They seem to really like building that up. I think you've been a Wrecker Seal in every single game that's let you so far. I do feel like Ranger is probably the hardest class in Zero, from what I've heard anyway. I haven't tried it myself, but it kind of feels like Ranger got a little bit shafted in Zero. Maybe they saw how broken it was in Blue Burst and thought, no, we need to bring them back down to earth. Exactly, yeah, you never know who the final boss is. There's no possible way of telling at all who the final boss is in a Phantasy Star game. But to be fair, they have thrown that fan out. Oh, we got a Rappy room, cool. I walked straight into a trap, not cool. Yeah, they are rare. We see them. I walked into another trap. Also, yeah, if you played PSO2, you probably recognize this music. Oh, I got one. I actually got one of them. Yes, I learned yesterday that the way the Rappies work in this is ridiculous. So they fall down like Rappies normally do. But then, so in PSO, you'll know that, when a Rappy gets up, you hit it again to make it drop an item. In PS0, you get the drop regardless, but if you can hit them again when they're getting up, you get extra experience. But they run away at the speed of light. I got Tech Save level 2. And, oh, Twinkle Star, cool. I know that weapon. They do become speed, yeah. And yeah, being exactly, yeah, so, it hasn't always been Falls as a final boss, they do throw different bosses in now and again. Phantasy Star 2. Obviously, Mother Brain was a final boss in that. You hit all 3, oh, nice one. It is funny how fast the Rappies are when they go up. One thing that will always get me in this game is the red boxes. I will always instinctively want to go over to the red boxes because of PSO. Red boxes in this game are not good. You do not want to approach the red boxes. That's why. Maybe misremembering, but I still think you fight Falls in Phantasy Star 2. You do, yeah. So in Phantasy Star 2, you fight it before Mother Brain. It's the most irritating fight probably in the whole franchise. I mean, technically it's called Dark Force in most of the early games, but yeah, it's the same thing. You like the cowboy aesthetic for human rangers in Zero? Yeah, some of the character designs are really cool. Some of them are not particularly cool, but yeah, I do kind of like the aesthetic the rangers have going on with the whole cowboy style. Wasn't he hiding in a box in 2? It was either 2 or 4. He has hidden a box so far. No, full disclosure, I have not finished 4 yet. I'm still working through 4. I fought him once in 4 so far, and he wasn't in a box in that. He managed to escape from a box in 4. But yeah, 2 and 3, he hides in a box. He is, as I saw on a YouTube comment, basically the world's most dangerous mimic. It is very funny that they decided to have him in a box, though. I don't know what the reasoning was for that. I know in 2 they kind of say that you've opened Pandora's box, but it still kind of feels like they just couldn't think of a way to really introduce him, so they just thought, I'll put him in a box, that'll do. Yeah, I swear, that fight nearly legitimately made me quit Phantasy Star 2. I love the game, but god, that fight is awful. Maybe he's just a fan of Metal Gear Solid, maybe. In the old 16-bit games, he was an edgy, angry boy. Yeah, he is like incredibly edgy, isn't he? I think it's particularly in 3. In 3, he goes into this like huge like villain speech before you fight him. Yeah, I fought him once in 4 so far. It does feel like the game is hinting that he's going to show up again. Again, no spoilers for 4. I've got an idea what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to fight him again. Yeah, very, very glad they didn't use the same mechanics in Phantasy Star 2 as they did in... Sorry, in Phantasy Star 3 as they did in 2 with the false fight. Don't look, Clara. Yeah, if you don't want spoilers, don't look. Look away. So I do have PB. I'm probably going to screw up the invincibility thing completely, but... Probably not controversial to say that 4 is the best of the classic games. So far, I've been having an absolute blast with 4. I love it. Yeah, surprise, see, it's not Dark Falls. I will say, like, as much as I do like Zero, boss fights are not its strong point. 3 weird spinning teeth. Yeah, exactly. That's the final boss. It will never not be funny to me that she attacks by basically just smashing her face into the ground. I mean, she does do other things as well, but she does like to smash her face into the ground. That does a hell of a lot of damage even in hard. Oh, thanks to follow Ratmut. Right, can I get the rest run? No. I tried. Yeah, good to see you, Ratmut. You have extremely janky hitboxes, mother. How good is Zero? It is good. Unfortunately, I messed up the PB thing again. One day I'll get the timing. Yeah, Zero, I've been having a fun time with it. I've already beaten the story on it with this character. And we've done some super hard before, so we're just helping people leveling hard at the minute. I'm still kind of terrible at the game. Yeah, this has to be like one of the weirdest incarnations of Falls, honestly. I'm one of the most underwhelming. I don't know why he sounds like that either. Yeah, it kind of sucks, Drac, doesn't it, that you lose your foot on blast if you die. Yeah, overall, it's a really fun game. I do like it. How to fight Dark Falls in the OG Phantasy Star. Step 1, find an axe. Step 2, bump into a random wall in the castle. Step 3, probably fight Dark Falls. Dark Falls in Zero is a swimming haunts. Yeah, I don't know what they're going for with the design for Falls in this. It's extremely weird. I'll still say though, this is a very impressive game for the DS, honestly. Like, the amount of stuff they managed to fit into this is kind of ridiculous. Okay, so Twinkle Star boosts light text by looks of things. And has Cross Rave. I've no idea if that's any good, but also to Saber in this? What? I was thinking Twinkle Star like PSO Twinkle Star, but maybe it's a different weapon. Japanese wiki says that weapons that don't have MST, weapons don't have MST and the tech boost doesn't work. The tech percent boost applies to weapon MST. If it has none, there's no boost. That is so weird. Also happens with Riv's Double Saber that has lightning tech boost but doesn't work. Well, you know, would it really be a Phantasy Star game if it didn't have like incredible amounts of jank? You still find PSO falls to be the freakiest. The faces on the floor sell it, along with the weirdly mouldy and de facto lifeform merge look. Yeah, it's a really like, creepy look for PSO. It is kind of a shame. I know I was watching a video by Sky's Not the Limit, which is another Phantasy Star creator. I was watching a video that he'd done about like things that you might not know from PSO. And that does show the Dreamcast version of the Falls fight, where there was like floating ghosts with faces as well, which for some reason got removed in the later games. The jank in character, it is, exactly. I wouldn't accept it as a Phantasy Star game if it didn't have some jank. Let's get Stanley to 60. We can try. But yeah, if you do want to see another PSO creator who does, you know, really, really good videos on PSO, I would definitely worth checking out Sky's Not the Limit. It is a total coincidence that we both have Sky in our name and both do PSO stuff, but yeah, just really, really good videos. It's not my alt account. PSU Jank, the main character. I mean, yeah, Ethan is like Jank personified, isn't he? Or Junk personified, depending on your opinion. I still love PSU, but yeah, Ethan, possibly the worst Phantasy Star protagonist. You can put more than 99 PEDs in your bank. No, it's almost like progress, isn't it? Alright, let's get another quest up then. I guess we should probably do Humilias at some point. One thing I will say I do find very weird with this game is that basically every area has what feels like two of the same quest. So for example, like the Wild Valley and Dragon's Roar are both in Garachia Valley and both have the dragon at the end. Let's do Humilias on super hard for the suit. I mean, we could. Is Stanley... I think Stanley's still at high 50s? Or have they hit 60 now? Hey, Bowen, good to see you. Do Shrine again for 60. We can do if you want. I don't know how far off Stanley is. Console versions had better graphics than Blueburst, distortion effects and more particles and tech. Yeah, I mean the effect on the Falls fight with the floating ghost, that wasn't even on GameCube. That is for some reason only on the Dreamcast version. It's very weird. Ethan has his flaws, but as part of his charm, he's also a certified crash out. Yeah, sure, we can do Dark Shrine again then. Let's do the other Dark Shrine quest and see if it's any different. I'm not entirely convinced that Ethan isn't related to Tidus. Or Tidus. Because apparently you pronounce his name Tidus. I did not know this until recently. I will forever call him Tidus because Tidus just sounds weird. You have Milia's sword, it's over. I mean, I could also use the Milia's sword. Let's do it. So we'll just wait for Stanley. Again, we'll just kind of vibrate aggressively until he gets here. There he is. They definitely come from the vat of bizarre, ineffective protagonists. It's kind of a weird trope with with JRPGs, isn't it? That quite often the protagonist is just kind of portrayed as useless. Thank you for the Garons, Nima. I would be highly surprised if one showed up here, but you tried. Good to see you. Oh, look, I love Final Fantasy X, but yeah. Tidus is certainly a protagonist. Wow, nice whiff. Oh, we've got a stinky room that hurts us for no reason. Not sure how reliable this is, but I've heard the reason they removed the ghost is because people complained it was too scary. I mean, I guess I could see that. I mean, I can't remember what the age rating is for PSI Dreamcast now. It is literally behind me, but that would involve effort. But yeah, I can imagine that if you're like a younger kid, maybe it'd be scary. But then I would also argue that if you're scared of the floating faces, would you not also be scared of like the writhing, horrible faces on the ground that they did not remove for GameCube? You really like FF10, it's just that Tidus made a nothing burger. I get that. Yeah, again, I absolutely love FF10. I really, really, really dislike FF10 too. I've tried playing that game several times and I cannot play that game. My personal opinion on that is I personally don't feel FF10 needed a sequel. I think the story was tied up nicely and I don't think it needed 10-2. Yeah, exactly, Minsk. Yeah, so even if you take away like the faces on the floor, you know, you still have Dark Falls, which is like this writhing, horrible eldritch abomination. I think if a kid is scared of a little floating ghost face, then they're probably gonna be scared of Falls as well. Or, you know, pretty much anything in ruins. Best looking sword in the game. Yeah, I really like the look of it. It's comically big, but I like that. I think they said they wanted to make a 10-3. Oh, God. The 12 Tidus fans needed to see him potentially returning if you 100% it. I think that was my big issue with 10-2. I mean, I didn't like the story in general in 10-2, but the fact that they essentially retconned 10. You'd be more scared of Squidward than Dark Falls. I mean, you know, Squidward is scary, you know? I mean, look at that, you know? Terrifying. I think you're okay with spoilers for 10-2. You know, it's a fairly old game now. 59, or one more level for Stanley. He's so handsome, yet I can't help but get the feeling I'm in danger. The great thing about Phantasy Star swords is that when your outfit inevitably gets wrinkled, you can use your weapon as an ironing board. See, thinking ahead. Ah, yes, the floor is made of... Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, when you first do falls and you first get to that area and the floor changes, it is creepy. I know nowadays it obviously looks very dated now, but back then that was pretty creepy, seeing these faces appear from nowhere and then realizing what the faces were. I think the people scared of ghost faces would have stopped at Ruins 3, to be honest. The writhing organic stuff is just a lot. I mean, yeah, pretty much all of Ruins 3 is just pulsing, horrible organic stuff, isn't it? Like, what do you mean the walls are breathing? Played way too many horror games to be fazed by that. You see, I don't cope with horror games at all. I tend to avoid them where possible. I wonder if they ever thought to put the faces in the walls of Ruins 3. Not sure. I would like to know where they got the faces from for the Falls fight. I don't know if it's maybe like distorted images of the dev team or something, or just like stock images. You think Ruins 3 is the remnants of Pioneer 1's residents painfully merged with the ancient ship for the pleasure of Dark Falls? I mean, obviously, you know by that point that Falls has killed them all. It's hard to say what Ruins 3 is, really. It does kind of look, to me, just like Falls kind of taking over the spaceship. Yeah, we could probably explore a bit more. There's probably a few more rooms. May as well try and get a bit more experience for Stanley. Oh, this quest has no light area, straight to Falls, okay. So there is a difference. Maybe that's where it is, and maybe one of them is a shorter quest and one's a longer one. Falls shortcut, yeah. Take farming quick, you see. I don't like that bomb is right in the middle of the room. Nicely done. That guy just had no chance. De facto life forms have an oddly metallic appearance. I feel like the fleshy appearance of the walls and Ruins 3 is very much intentional. I have no doubt it probably is, yeah. You can still play online. Yeah, so Shira, there is a Phantasy Star 0 Discord, and I think that has instructions how to get online. It's been a long time since I got this working online, so I can't remember how I did it myself. But yeah, you can still play online. You can do it through emulation or through original hardware. Just be aware that if you do it through the original hardware, there is some security issues with doing it because of like the protocols it uses for wireless. Underrated part of Ep 1 for me in PSO is the music in each area gaining intensity as the situation gets more bleak. Yeah, Climax, if you try posting it, I might have to okay the post when it gets posted, but yeah, if you want to try it, that's fine. I'll be with you guys in a sec. I'll just try and sort this out first. Set up on PC recently, a simple step-by-step. I don't remember being that hard to get set up, but yeah, it's just been a while since I did it, so I can't remember exactly how I did it. And yeah, clarity, I think the cool thing to think about with PSO, someone mentioned this before in a video, but basically with PSO, the easy way to think about it is you essentially just travel downwards for all of episode 1. You know, the caves are under the forest, you've got the mines are connected to the underground channel where you fight Durall, and then the ruins are deeper still. You basically just travel downwards for the whole of episode 1. Yeah, I'd never thought of it until recently. I think it was mentioned there was a podcast that I was on with Deployable Lover, and it was quite a while back now. But the guy Ben who hosts the podcast, he mentioned it, and I was thinking, yeah, I've never really thought of that. You do basically just travel down for the whole of episode 1. Yeah, that's quite a nasty nuke. You're traveling down to get to the core of the problem, exactly. I feel the Milias sword is not working particularly well here because they keep moving when I try to hit them. Are you gonna stay still? Yeah, I think we cancelled that. Cool. Yeah, that's a really good point, Scorpio. Yeah, the areas kind of tell a story as you go through them. There's a lot of what I call environmental storytelling in PSO. But even if you don't read the story, you can kind of get an idea of some things that are going on just by the state of the areas. Really? I swear, Mother Trinity's hitboxes are awful. Like, criminally bad. Yeah, catch this. I mean, I went directly through your head and didn't really do anything. It's still there. Oh, I didn't even get PB this time. You lost the plot a bit in PS2 NGS, where there's like 15 Dark Falls variants. Yeah, that is, well, both of them actually, but mainly PSO2. Yeah, PSO2 has an abnormally high amount of Dark Falls. Okay, falls. Are you going to let me do overend? Is that something you're going to allow me to do? There we go. Let's try and get D-band up again. Yeah, for NGS there is a reason to why it happens, yeah. But it is kind of a spoiler, yeah. Zero almost feels like it doesn't know what its audience is. Character designs are very safe compared to the other games, but no kid could reasonably take on the first boss unless they're nuts. It's weird, isn't it? It's got this kind of cute aesthetic. Looks as if it's maybe catered towards maybe younger players to an extent. But yeah, it is one of the harder games. I don't know if they intended for it to be as difficult as it is at the beginning, but yeah, it is pretty hard. Anyone notice that the final activity area hinted at the Forlorn area? The Dragon Arena looks like the caves, Caves 3 is Mines like, and Mines 2 is Ruined. Yeah, I guess it's meant to kind of show the development of Pioneer 1, isn't it, as you go through? And then as you get into, particularly when you get to Mines 2 and you see all the damage in Mines 2, that's when you start realising that like something has gone really badly wrong. Yeah, I've always liked that method of storytelling in games, not just in Phantasy Star, but NGS, I believe, is designed for players that like to do tricks, lots of opportunities to do crazy combos. I mean, PSO2 Classic is kind of like that as well to an extent. I mean, honestly, PSO2 Classic is probably more complicated than NGS in regards to like combos you can do. NGS is kind of simplified. Here, what happened down on Rhaegal? Yeah, I've seen that video where people have voiced a sort of anime kind of episode of PSO. I think it's cool what they've done. But yeah, I think they just need to look at the naming of stuff because it's not Rhaegal. You can pet the cat. Do you want to know something even better, Nero? You can pet one cat. Can't remember if there's one in here. And no, there's not one there. Yeah, not only is there a cat to pet, so you got one there. There's also, I believe it's down here, yeah. There's another one. That's two cats. It gets better. Third cat that makes a different noise. Or does most time. But making normal noise. There. You also get a title, by the way, for petting all of the cats. Can I even tell you how hard I was laughing at the original name plan for the Starless? What was it? I don't think I've actually heard what the original name was meant to be. I don't know if I want to ask, but yeah, please enlighten me what the original name was meant to be. Still can't put animals in NGS. Yeah, that is a real disappointment. Alright, so Stanley's still at 59, okay. It was the reverse of Seed. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they've renamed something like that. People who play PSO2 a lot probably know that the Falls enemies were renamed. Because in PSO2 Japan, the Falls, like the normal enemies at the Falls spawn, which became Falls spawn in the Western version, were called Darkers in the Japanese version. You can probably tell why it was changed. But yeah, they were called Darkers in the Japanese version. You can tell someone wasn't on the tip of meme culture for that. Yeah. There was also an NPC in NGS that was renamed as well. There was an NPC in Central City called Digger, which I think was spelled Diggah, and they renamed him to Excator. Again, you can probably tell why it was renamed. I guess let's do Dragon. I know no one likes him. Oh, someone has not accepted the quest reward. Hopefully it's not me. No, it's not me, I'm safe. Yeah, it just continues the long tradition of renaming everything in Phantasy Star. There we go. The story is that the global team was in a conference with Japan discussing the names of future enemies. And I guess the global team just went, no, you can't do that. I mean, I think the Starless is a pretty cool name, honestly. It kind of fits what they are. I yearn for snack. Go get your snack. Have you tried Phantasy Star Portable 2 and Infinity? I have. I mean, I have a full playthrough of base game PSP2 on my YouTube channel. But I have also beaten Infinity before as well. I don't have videos of Infinity, but I have beaten it before. Yeah, Infinity is legitimately one of my favourite games in the series. It's such a good game. Are we vibrating aggressively again? Go on then. I don't know why your character like so aggressively vibrates when you start charging an attack. So underrated. I think part of the reason it's underrated is because obviously Infinity was never released outside Japan, was it? So a lot of people just never got to play it. You were shocked how good it was. It has so much endgame to it as well. I feel like the endgame in Infinity, well, does almost feel infinite. Especially with the Infinity missions thing they added as well. That was really cool. For those who don't know, you could basically kind of customize your own missions. So you could... There were certain items you could get that would like influence what enemies would appear in a created quest. So you could say like, you know, I want my quest to be in Raffen Meadow. I want to fight this boss at the end, and it might have these enemies in it. It would also affect the level of the enemies and everything as well. It was a really, really cool system. Yeah, the human designs are cool in Infinity as well. Yeah, with the eye patches. I probably need to replay through Infinity at some point with the English patch so I can actually read the story. I've got an idea what happened, but it was all in Japanese when I played it last time. Yeah, and then you also had things like the rebirth system in it as well. I can't remember if that was in PSP2 or if that was added in Infinity. I've got a feeling it might have been added in Infinity. But yeah, the rebirth system was basically where you could reset your character back to level 1 and level them up again. And you'd get like slight stat increases. You could also like unlock points to increase your weapon proficiency as well, which I think that was in PSP2 base as well. Yeah, it's such a good game. Honestly, I think the only thing that held it back for me was, apart from the fact I had to play it in Japanese at the time, was the fact it was on PSP. I don't know if anyone else feels the same, but for me, I really struggled to play any game on PSP because I find the console incredibly uncomfortable to use. It just doesn't feel ergonomic to me in the slightest. Obviously now, you know, we've got emulation and stuff, so it makes it a lot easier, but back then, yeah, I didn't really enjoy playing it on a PSP, but incredibly good game though. I do have a PSP just over there, but yeah. Anyone who hasn't seen one. I don't remember getting a room with these minecarts. I think it's the first time I've seen those. Moving any character in any game sucked on PSP. Yeah, because you had like one analog stick, didn't you? And then the D-pad was... If I remember correctly, the D-pad was on the same side as the analog stick. So you had to do this kind of like cursed grip where you were sort of like that. To move the camera, it was ridiculous. What's up, Sky? How the run so far? Not too bad. We're just doing some hard mode just to get people levels. Yeah, good to see you, remote. You play PSP games on your Steam Deck. I do not blame you. I imagine Steam Deck is a much better way to play them. Oh, did your PSP suffer from the battery issue? Yeah, I check mine quite regularly. Mine so far is okay. Although I will say the battery doesn't like retain charge really at all now. I more or less have to play it off the mains. But yeah, I know a lot of PSPs have had that issue where the battery started ballooning. If that does happen to your PSP, get rid of the battery. It's pretty dangerous. It will be very obvious if it happens because it will balloon up quite a bit. Yeah, would definitely recommend people checking out Infinity though, or even PSP2 base game if you haven't played that, because even that's a really good game. Really decent story as well, actually. Let's track on a different way. Yeah, it's just a super uncomfortable console to use though. I pretty much used to get cramp in my hands every time I tried using it. I mean, it's certainly not the only console I've had issues with though. I kind of felt a bit the same with the 3DS as well, because again with 3DS, you basically have the circle pad on one side and then no real other way of controlling camera because your D-pad was on the same side. I know later they added that, I think it was Circle Pad Pro, something they called it, which was like another circle pad you clip to the side of the 3DS. And that would have helped. But I remember trying to play, I think it was Monster Hunter Generations on 3DS. And it was next to impossible to use the bow guns because trying to control the camera with the D-pad while controlling your camera, while controlling your movement with the circle pad, which are both on the same side of the console, it just made no sense. Speaking of portable games, I never got a chance to try Nova. That is one of the very few games in Phantasy Star now that I have not tried. I do want to check that out at some point. Again, just never had a PS Vita, so I never got a chance to try it. Should have put the second D-pad on the same side. I mean, honestly, with my PSP, I barely use that for any games. I basically bought it for Phantasy Star Portable, and then played Portable, Portable 2, and Portable Infinity. Didn't really play a whole lot else on it. I think I played the PSP version of Gran Turismo, and that was terrible. Does Nova have Germans? I don't know for sure. I would guess probably because it's like based in the same sort of universe as PSO2, isn't it? So I would assume it has Germans. Yeah, I have never played Nova. Again, don't think that got a Western release either. I know there is a translation patch and everything for that that's out as well. So I should probably try it at some point. I don't actually know how good the game is. How have we not seen Narina yet? I've still yet to see him, yeah. I haven't seen Narina. I haven't seen the cake shop. I don't think. I guess it would depend on if it takes place before or after the paradox involving Hadrid. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, I always forget that Germans weren't in PSO2 at launch, were they? Just at a blue burst after only playing 2 in NGS. You've been very helpful. Oh, thanks, Arix. Hope you have fun with blue burst as well. I realise it's probably quite a weird game to get into if you've just started with PSO2 and NGS. Yeah, I'm glad people still find the videos useful. I really don't think there's a whole lot else I can do videos on PSO4 because I feel like I've covered more or less everything. It's just to touch on what I said earlier. For public, the video will go live on Tuesday. For members, there might be possibly a 1 or 2 day delay with the video going live this week. Just again, for anyone who didn't hear at the start, I've basically had to relearn my editing software because my editing software completely stopped working and I've had to learn a completely new one. So that was fun. Speaking of Blueburst, played Affinia for a while, we'll be leaving for personal reasons. Besides Stack, what other servers are there? There is, yeah, Ultimate is one. I think there's one called Destiny, but from what I understand, Destiny is massively altered from the base game. To the point where it kind of feels like a different game. I can't speak to what Ultima's like, but I want to say it's similar to Official, maybe? I've never played on Ultima myself, though. I only play on Affinia. Yeah, there's a few options though. There is more than that as well. There is another one as well that's set up recently. I can't remember the name of it though. Heard they were adding raids to Destiny PSO. I would put nothing past Destiny PSO at the minute, given some of the videos I've seen from Destiny. I mean, I get it, you know, if you want to play PSO with the crazy turned up to 11, then yeah. Have you ever played the Return to Ragdoll mod? I have not actually, but I recently got a flippy drive for my GameCube, so I've been able to back up my GameCube characters to PC. So because of that, it might be something I can look into trying at some point. I feel like Return to Ragdoll is not really aimed at people like me because I'm a masochist. I like going after ridiculously rare drops, and Return to Ragdoll makes a lot of drops quite easy. But I do respect it for what it's trying to do. That was a lot of traps. Ultima is like stacked with 3 times experience. That's the thing, like, every private server is going to have like slightly different rates and everything. Have you decided what the next Uber hunt's going to be? I'm still honestly not sure. I kind of want Heart of SS swords. I do kind of want Nair's Claw, but that involves a lot more tower, which is kind of putting me off after hunting SGS. I mean, a Heaven Puncher would be nice as well. It's the one of the big 3 I haven't found yet. It's kind of weird now, like, having found SGS, it's kind of strange, like, trying to think of things I actually want to go for. Before I could just go, yeah, let's do some SGS runs. I never really expected to find it. Yeah, being chocolate, there is definitely a few options for servers for Blueburst. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is with Affinia, but yeah, I understand. You know, some people might have issues with it for whatever reason. Yeah, there is definitely other options you can try. I feel the uncontrollable urge to pick up every red box I see, even if it's just a photon drop on my 37th rooster. It's red, it needs to be in my inventory. That is the correct mindset for PSO. I mean, to be honest, I mean, photon drops will always be useful, so always pick those up. Maybe, well, unless you're playing offline. If you're offline, maybe not so much. Every red is exciting. Some are disappointing, but always exciting. You are not wrong. Even when it's like the, you know, the 100th Dragon Slayer drop, you know? Exactly. I mean, how could you not be excited by that? Offline, it's 1,000 Mazetta. Yeah, pretty much. If you never intend to go online, it is basically just sell for 1,000 Mazetta. I'm going to follow Drak because Drak plays this game a lot and probably knows where he's going. feel that's a bit rude. I'm not in that trap. Hey, PK, good to see you. Yeah, and Affinia, they made the red boxes even more exciting by adding the red drop noise as well. Yeah, Destiny is crazy from what I've seen of it. They modify a lot of the gear in the game to act very different. So if you want an experience that's similar to how the Sega servers were, I would probably not recommend Destiny, but if you want something that's like crazy and off the wall, then sure. I still feel personally that Affinia is probably the best option for a server, but you know, there's always going to be people who have issues with it. Watch this dragon kill in before I die. You have a charge Yaz on Destiny. Yeah, because what the Yaz 9K needed is charge. Yeah, I should probably mention that actually. Yeah, Pika. For those who didn't see, if you're interested in PSU, the Clementine server, they're actually making another server. I think it's still in development at the minute, but they are basically doing another server that is going to be more or less like the vanilla Sega server. So if you don't like the sort of changes on Clementine, you could try that when it's out. I like how me and Draken is fishing for overends. Yeah, we were a bit over level for that. Yeah, that dragon is normally incredibly scary. Issue is people saying some seriously scary things, don't want to talk about it, truly disturbing. Oh, no worries, you know. If you've had a bad experience with Affinia, then, you know, I can understand you wanting to try a different server. Now we can do super hard Arca Plant Stanley about to do 5 damage. Oof. Sucks that PSC episode 3 was lost when the official server shut down. Yeah, you basically have to just watch it on YouTube. It is sad that it's kind of lost media. You're getting supper first. Yep, no worries. I don't think I need that. It's only one slot as well, so yeah, we can sell that. Nice cat. I don't know if you saw earlier, Miss. There are several cats. I'm gonna have to go and pet them all now again. Yeah, there's 3, yeah. There you go. Does make me wonder if perhaps some stuff from PSP to Infinity can be backported to PSU. It kinda can. So on the Clementine server, there is some stuff from PSP 2 and Infinity in the game, like maps and things like that. I don't think they brought any of the systems like Rebirth or anything over, but there is definitely maps from PSP 2. so jank. Yeah, I do want to do Infinity at some point. It'd be nice to do that multiplayer. I just need to look into how to do it. And I know you posted on Discord how to do it. If I can get that set up well, then we might do that one week. Kind of wait on the infrastructure. Yeah, it might be a little while. You're kind of tired, Pig. Ah, no worries. Yeah, so I know Minsk is AFK for a bit, so I guess we could remake Do Super Hard. And then when you know, when Minsk's back, you can rejoin. Yeah, some of the outfits might be over there, Bean. I'm pretty sure that some of the PSPG outfits are in Clementine as well. It's time to get big boy drops. I mean, hopefully. Okay, new game is up. Just while we're getting that new game set up, actually, I'm just going to go and grab a drink, so I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, we are back. So should we just go with these three then? Because I know Pika said that they were still tired at the minute, so I think it's probably just those three for now. Should be fine, I would imagine. Also, thanks for the follow, Torso. Thanks, Nimu. Yeah, let's just start, I think. I mean, Drax level 95, so... As is customary. I always got to pet the cats every time you go past them. It's law. So does anyone have a quest they want to run in particular? We want to do HUnewearl, so you want to do something else? Kind of sad the game doesn't have a hub system like the other games. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, you basically just have this town. Puyo disc went. Kinda wish we got HUnewearl and PSO. It wouldn't make sense, he's so damn cool. He would crush someone's skull with his thumb and his index finger. Yeah, the HUnewearl design for PSO that they came up with was crazy. Kinda looks a little bit similar to how the male beasts do in PSU. I keep hearing PSO sounds and thinking I'm AFK. HUnewearl best class, I mean... HUnewearl exists though. Yeah, it's like an incredibly like jacked dude with a huge axe. Like some of the designs, again, I know Sky's Not the Limit has a good video on that. Some of the designs were crazy that they came up with originally. I think it's one of the Phonium designs, one of the original ones, is basically a clown. Like, if you think they look like a clown already, the original design was just straight up clown. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the HUnewearl does definitely have a bit of Ganondorf about it, for sure. Whatever happened to Beasts from PSU? No idea. For some reason, just after the HUnewearl games, they just never brought them back. I'd like to see them come back, honestly. You know, why not just give us a bit more variety? We're doing HUnewearl, yeah, sucker. Weren't very popular. I mean, they had some issues in PSU. They couldn't hit anything. And nanoblasts in, like, Sega PSU were not particularly useful. I want to do the field instead, okay. We can do that. For more rare drop rate. There we go, more rares. I might use daggers here, I think, because I think using the swords probably gonna get me killed. Now you mentioned that the HUnewearl and Beast do look very similar. I like the goofy Pelican Ninja. Yeah, that one is a design I'm quite glad didn't make it to the real game. Yeah, there was also like references to like an alien race as well. Again, I can talk about this because I know Sky's Not the Limit mentions it in their video, but I do have the Book of Hunters myself as well, so... But yeah, there's like a weird alien race that shows up in it as well. It kind of look a bit like Plague Doctors, it's super weird. Yeah, I think that's probably why I named it. It was just so different, I guess. Would have been cool to see the missing classes, but what would they have for force, cast, can, technique? Yeah, I mean... They could have worked something out with cast, I think. I mean, you know, obviously in Phantasy Star 4, they've still got skills. Maybe they could have done something like that. Yeah, I guess you've also got things in, you know, the classic games like Motavians and Desolicians. But obviously PSO was meant to be... I mean, they've always said that PSO is not connected to the classic games. I am somewhat skeptical, but Like Shua Sega. Of course it isn't. Why can't I have Raja in PSO? You need a mod to just like have a full-mouthed green skin. Yeah, I guess Humans and Beast do have kind of similar like lore origin down there. Both essentially born of experiments. Oh, to be fair, that's also the kind of the same with Humans. Like Humans in most of the games are also from experiments, so I guess they don't just do it for me. I think casts in PSO2 are different from ones in PSO. They're more cyborgs and robots. The ones in PSO2 you can kind of just make how you want. We're really going to do confused traps again? Really? I should probably just use a trap vision. Came up with an idea for Goblin and Orc characters. I mean, I've always thought that like the Motavians in 4 kind of sort of fill that archetype. I know they're not orcs, but they kind of fill the similar archetype maybe. But again, you know, maybe they didn't want things like Motavians and so on in PSO because maybe that would imply that it was in the same system as the classic games, and they want to kind of distance it a bit. But then they did put Prophets of Mortav and Psycho ones in the game, so yeah, I don't really know the actual lore for casting in PSO2, honestly. Maybe the Ammo Cyborg. It's been so long since I've done like PSO2's main story. Yeah, I kind of feel like you can't really compare the races between each of the games because they kind of fill their own different roles in each game. Yeah, I know back in PSC, I know for the Beasts, I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think it's that they were made basically as slaves to do all the work. They're more or less just used for like physical labor and stuff. This is what you find in the Phantasy Star games, that quite often the races that are not human never get treated particularly well. Although Zero kind of mixes that up because in Zero it's kind of Newmans that are trying to mess everything up. I mean, it's Mother Brain, but you know, well, Mother Trinity. You would camp right near that freeze trap, can you not? That sounds cool, Bean. I was like when people have like their own ideas, things to do. This entire map is just freeze traps. Sorry, confused traps. Also, I did anti right next to you and didn't get rid of that. I don't know why. Maybe you were just out of range. I do kind of like the class balance in this game. It does feel like the classes all play quite differently. You know, as much as I love PSO, you do kind of play the classes very similar. Okay, I'm getting shot by a turret shooting through a wall. Nice one. Enough for gameplay reasons they couldn't do it, but I think Ultimate should have added another phase to Falls for story. I'm not sure. I mean, it is kind of weird that the final phase on Falls is basically just hard and higher. I kind of feel that the final phase should have maybe been reserved for the higher difficulties. It feels weird having the final phase in hard. But Showcase Falls getting actively stronger. I mean, I suppose if you go by the episode 3 law, I mean, that is technically true what happens, isn't it? You know, basically the events of episode 3 happened because we kept killing Falls and Olga Flow over and over again. Red skateboard dude drops Rika's claw. Excellent. I mean, it won't, but... I mean, I guess one reason clarity why at least very hard as the final phase is because in version 1 PSO there was no ultimate. Very hard was the final difficulty in version 1. Cast law in PSO 2 is that it was originally a body replacement for Gen 1 Arxu, had unstable aptitude, too strong for their own good. Okay. So that kind of explains why, was it Maria and Regius are so strong? Again, it has been a long time since I did PSO2 story. It's such a long story. What classes are considered best in this game? Honestly, I haven't really played enough classes in this game to really give you a good answer on that. 99% of my play has been with this character. I have heard people say that apparently rangers are generally not great in this game. Yeah, not Remar. Yeah, there you go. Regis and Maria are examples, yeah. Remar is a one-way trip to the factory of sadness. Poor Remar. I mean, someone has to take the hit in every game, and I think in this game it is Remar. Casting PSO2 are humans who become androids. The robots in the early PSOs are like precursors to them. Yeah, I mean, in PSO, they are pretty much entirely artificial. There's one thing that really bugs me with this game, and that is whenever you run into an enemy that has a range attack like these guys, I feel that your evade doesn't do anything to stop it. It feels like I always get hit by the range attacks. Yeah, honestly, I wish I could give you a better breakdown of the class than this, but I really haven't played the game enough. It's PSO, sure. This is definitely one of the Phantasy Star games I am much less familiar with. But it's a fun time. If you've never tried it before, it's definitely worth picking up. It has actually aged quite well. As long as you sort of bear in mind that it was on a DS originally, you know. Which, you know, let's face it, is not the most powerful hardware. We're really doing the confuse again, huh? Yeah, and PSO is basically just not humor. I mean, can you do everything with HUnewearl and PSO? Yeah, of course you can. But they're not great. You like your robots to be robots, that's just me. Yeah, it's a bit different every game. What are these guys doing? Hello? I'm not entirely sure what was going on with these guys here. They seem to be completely stuck. Sir? Let's free him. I might hit everything in the room, actually. It did actually hit the whole room. Looks like they were still trying to get the yellow leader one. Possibly, yeah. So I don't think there was a leader on the other side, was there? So yeah, maybe they were trying to get over to this guy. I mean, dude, yeah, you can fly. Just fly over the gap. And then it flew away from me to explode. Very weird. If you ever wanted 100,000 blue ballettas, this is definitely the quest. Do you prefer the semi-chibi look of this over PSO-BB or PSO2? I mean, I like the aesthetic of PSO. It does look very dated now, PSO, but I've always liked PSO's aesthetic. I like that this is very different. I think, for me, I do tend to kind of prefer slightly more realistic for the most part, but I do like how Zero looks. It's a nice refreshing change from the others. You would never mistake this Phantasy Star for another Phantasy Star game based on the aesthetic. It definitely has its own identity. I really, really don't like these skateboard guys. They're so annoying. So many of the Zero enemies remind you of PSO mobs. Yeah, there's a few similar ones for sure. I mean, these guys are in PSP 2 as well. And they're also annoying in PSP 2. These guys are obviously very similar to like Canadines from PSO. The way they have a leader, the way they self-destruct. It's very obviously inspired by them. And again, they're stuck. And it makes our job easier. Mod for skateboard dudes where they go radical, bro, when... Are there any references in this to the original 4 games? There's maybe a couple. I mean, obviously one of the bosses is Mother Trinity, which is, you know, obviously very, very similar to Mother Brain from Phantasy Star 2. Yeah, there's probably a few rare item callbacks as well. I mean, I know, for example, I know Psycho 1 is definitely in this. You'll never see it, but it's in this. You forget how big this Arca plant is. It always bothered you how the Psycho 1 is actually a rod. It gets worse, Alyssa, so in PSO at least. So yeah, Psycho wand, so it's called a wand. It's a rod, and the description says it's the ultimate cane. It's like they can't decide what it actually is. Thought the character had a bunny tail first. It does really look like that, doesn't it? Yeah. It's just part of the outfit. She does not actually have a bunny tail. You can see it is actually flat, but yeah, I get what you mean. It does kind of look like a bunny tail. The ultimate kin that hurts to use. It's such a good weapon though. Psycho 1's in PSO is busted beyond belief. Do you think it is meant to look like a bunny tail? I mean, you can see that when I turn sideways, you can't really see it, so it is kind of flat on the character. I guess they do kind of have a bunny motif, though, don't they? Yeah, like with the things on the head as well. Yeah, kind of. I see that. Yeah, HUnewearl has it as well, yeah. So yeah, I guess like maybe they are themed around bunnies, potentially. Which might actually be a thing, come to think of it, because I know in Japan, there is like moon festivals, and the animal that's involved with the moon festival that kind of epitomizes it is a bunny. So obviously with humans being from the moon in this, maybe that's deliberate. Damn, no Rika's Claw. It's foreshadowing for how they are on the moon, yeah. Yeah, because in this, if you haven't played this before, all the humans are from the moon. Because they actually start out the game as kind of the antagonists. Spoiler, Naruto moon rabbits. Having never seen Naruto. Yeah, I know. I think in PSO 2, actually, I think there was a lobby that was based on like the Moon Festival, and it had like rabbits sitting on the moon. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, being if it is just like to save polygons, why it's not actually modelled. So Newmans with the pointed straight up ears are usually the agility types, ones with the floppy ears are normally force types. Do they follow that rule in this game? So my ears are vertical ones, and she's a HUnewearl, so you can't really see the others. Oh yeah, Drax are vertical as well, and yeah, Zales stick out, and Zales are HUnewearl, so yeah, it still follows that rule. That's how you tell if your Newman's going to punch you or, you know, incinerate you. Just look at the ears. Yeah, clarity. Yeah, PSO is full of like weird stuff like that, isn't it? Yeah, with the whole Cannon Rouge blade description, and then Inferno Bazooka being a shot. It's very weird. Baron's launcher being a shot, not a launcher, and being a Garon's, not a Baron's. It's all weird. Alright, time to get absolutely deleted by Humilius. I always thought it was a cool, unique thing about the Space Elves. Yeah, it was the same PSO as well, wasn't it? In the later games, like PSO 2, obviously you can choose how to have the ears, but the early games, yeah, it does seem like they stick to that formula. Time to get humiliated. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me against Humilius. I mean, it's in his name. Yeah, this boss really, really sucks. Like, this guy, he will ruin your day. It does kind of feel in this boss that if you get hit at all, you're just going to die. Are fist weapons and claws any good in this? I haven't used any fist weapons, but claws seem pretty good. Yeah, claws aren't bad at all, honestly. Oh, nice. I hit multiple parts of them there. And then you get to this phase where you just can't hurt him. Ow. I would argue I was not in the place to be hit by that, but Humilius disagreed. Female claw animation felt awful, don't know what's up with it. I've used claw on this character and I seem to use it okay. I do prefer other weapons like daggers, but I kind of felt I could get away with using Claw in this, unlike PSO. Yeah, this phase just kind of sucks. You just can't really do anything until he recombines. I mean, this Simps I always lean towards Claw. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I really wish that Claws were better in PSO. Yeah, I imagine HUnewearl on this fight is quite awkward. He also explodes at the end as well, just to try and kill you right at the end. It does tons of damage as well. Allow me to dual wield Boomer Claws to become the Boomer. I got nothing of interest. Classic Newmans are always my favourites in 1 to 4. Yeah, I mean, I like Nain too, for the short time that you have it. I really, really like Rika in 4. Yeah, Sue is also cool. Yeah, we like Sue here. Oh, is that the Python Claw? Yeah, that is a design. Speedy support units are always fun. Rika's Claw for style points, yeah, if only. Oh yeah, some of the animations for the PAs are wild in this. Again though, I mean, for a game like this to actually have photon art in it is pretty impressive, honestly, for a DS game. I was trying to accept the quest reward. We didn't do a quest, we did a free exploration. One thing I cannot forgive in this game, though. The storage size. If you thought PSO storage was bad, I mean, your character storage is at least a bit bigger in your inventory. But you have 100 spaces in your trunk. That's nothing. This should make a return as an outfit or a total wear. So there was, I think it was on base game PSO 2. There was a near outfit that you could get for a while, and I think the hairstyle and things like that. And then there was a cape that you could get that went over it that would kind of make it look like Rika. There is a weapon camo for, as they call it, Foul Claw in NGS. But it's like a double claw, because I think it replaces, I think it's like a camo for the Wired Lance. So you have one on each arm, which kind of looks a bit ridiculous, I think. And there is also, I believe there is a camo for, I think it's called Nearclaw RF, which I guess is meant to look a bit like the classic Nearclaw. But yeah, hopefully they bring it back for NGS as well, because obviously it's only in PSO2 spec, and I don't even know if it's on the global release. Because it was quite a few years ago on the Japanese side. PSU you play as a rando guy, I forgot his name, yeah. He's not particularly memorable. Oh, it is on the global, oh cool. It's only in PSO2 spec though, isn't it? There isn't an NGS spec version of it as far as I know. If there is, I need to get it. Kind of sucks in NGS that you have to, if you use the PSO2 spec stuff, it forces you to use the PSO2 spec body, which doesn't look as good. Do y'all think PSO Remastered would blow up? I honestly don't know. It's such an old game now. They'd have to do a lot to it to make it more accessible to newer players, I think, because it is very much of its age, PSO, of its time. You can wear the old one in NGS, but I don't recall NGS having an updated one. Yeah, so, yeah, I think it is PSO2 spec. Yeah, NGS is like its own thing, really. I'm giving it until the end of the year because there is meant to be a PSO collaboration. I want to see what they do with it. And lately, I've actually been having a bit of fun with it because the new Ultra Realm quest is actually good for like farming gear, actually, you know, like hunting stuff. Remember doing that in PSO? I think the content for NGS at the minute isn't too bad because you've got the new Ultra Realm. New Ultra Realm is like designed to be farmed like hell at the minute. NGS got the third curse, yeah. It is like a recurring thing, isn't it? That like the third game is cursed. Yeah, Phantasy Star 3, cursed. PSO Episode 3, cursed. And we have to kind of bend the rules a bit with NGS because it's, you know, PSO 2, then PSO 2 version, sorry, then PSO 2 NGS, then PSO 2 NGS version 2. It's definitely got better since I played, just like the way the abilities and text were in PSO 2. That's fair. Yeah, I think we will probably end things there for today, I think. So the plan is, I say on Tuesday there will be a video for like public. And the members video will go live a little bit later, so it's probably going to be maybe a day or two later, I'd imagine, just while I get to grips with this new editing software. Then Wednesday we'll be doing some more Phantasy Star 4. Yeah, I didn't know what that notification sound was, but yeah, it's the online notification, isn't it? Yeah, so Wednesday will be more Phantasy Star 4. And then next Sunday, we will probably do PSO Episode 3, because we haven't done it for a while. So yeah, if you want to see the weird PSO, next Sunday. Yeah, and just Story's like completely disconnected. Although they have hinted that it's going to link up. There's some things that happened recently that kind of link it to PSO2, so I think they're planning to link it. But they're kind of working it in. But yeah, they need to hurry up with it, honestly. Got to side stories here, Sky. Yeah, I might do some videos on it, honestly. I also need to finish with my 4 mile as well, yeah. She's only done the first boss so far, and that was really rough. Ep 3 is gloriously different. It is. I really, really like Episode 3. I know it's very, very weird, and a lot of people really dislike it, but I like it. Story's really hard in that as well, though. But yeah, we will end things there for today, I think. So if you have enjoyed the stream, just consider the usual, either like and subscribing or join as a member if you want to on YouTube. You can follow or sub over on Twitch. I have an X and a Bluesky that are both SectionSkyly, and I do have a Discord channel you can join as well, which there'll be a link to in the description as well. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. The Zero streams always seem really, really popular, and like people seem to be really into them. I get why, it's a really fun game, but yeah, it kind of surprises me for like a really old DS game. But yeah, whatever you're doing, have a good week. Let's do some shortcuts quickly. I'm gonna end it with that one. So yeah, whatever you're doing, have a good week, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for some more Phantasy Star 4. See you guys. Yeah, I bet that jump scared everyone.